Hey, what's up everyone? Noel here and welcome to another walkabout video. So I'm here now in Berlin in Germany, and right behind me is the Flughafen Tempelhof, or the Tempelhof Airport. So why am I here? I'm gonna go inside and take photos of its beautiful interiors. So this airport was ceased to operate in 2008, but it was left open for tourists. So right now I'm using the Nikon Z30 to vlog, and also I will use it to take photos inside. So I'll come out with a review for this camera, for this whole experience pretty soon. So please like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell, and then let's go inside. Let's do it. One important note before we begin. If you wish to visit Tempelhof Airport in Berlin, you have to book a tour. You can't just go in alone and explore. I've included the link for the tour in the description below. A 2-hour guided tour costs €16.50. It's completely worth it, as Isabel here was an amazing guide.
Right, yeah, we will just go out this way.
Now, what is so fascinating about this building? Well, first, its storied history. Construction started in 1932 during the Nazi era, and it played a role during World War II, serving as an assembly plant for fighter planes. It also figured heavily during the Cold War, as the supplies for West Berlin arrived here during the Berlin blockade. Now, if that wasn't enough, Tempelhof actually means temple courtyard. These lands belonged to the Knights Templars during medieval times. The second reason I want to photograph this airport is obviously for its architecture. It's a mix of brutalism, influenced heavily by Nazi aesthetic, and Art Deco. At 1.2 kilometers in length, it was once one of the biggest buildings in the world and was then considered the largest airport in Europe. It ceased operations in 2008 as it has become incredibly dated, among other reasons. This combined arrival and departure area was damaged in World War II. One of the bombs from the Allied bombing raids fell through the roof and exploded here on the floor. Surprisingly, considering the amount of bombs being dropped then, Tempelhof was actually only hit a couple of times. It was very tricky taking these photos indoors. Lighting was not bright, and I didn't have a tripod with me for long exposure. The only solution was to bump up my ISO, open up my aperture, and keep my hands steady. Now, most of the areas in the airport are open to guided tours, but guides have to unlock and lock sections as we pass through them. We were reminded constantly to stay with the group if we don't want to get locked in. I'll actually learn this the hard way later on. There were a lot of spots that we didn't visit but I found fascinating to photograph, like those big windows on the left and those pillars on the right. Now, remembering what our guide Isabel said, I dashed to the spot and then ran back to the group so as not to get locked in. Remember how I said that the design was influenced heavily by the Nazi aesthetic? As you can see here, the airport is in the shape of an eagle from above, with its wings spread out and its claws open. During the Cold War, Tempelhof became a US airbase. The Americans modified most of the top floors to fit their needs, like the bar we just came from and this basketball court right here. So here I am again, running for fear of being locked in. There's Isabel waiting for me. Sorry. Now, the thing is, as we went down the stairs, I noticed that the space in the middle would be great in a shot from above. But to make that happen, I had to wait until everyone has exited the staircase. So I waited and then went back to take the shot. Now, this is edited, but it took me around a minute or so to get all of my shots. And then I rush down as fast as I can, only to miss the door closing. And slowly but surely, my greatest fears were realized. I started to think of when the next tour will be, or if I have enough water to last the night. I also started to look for CCTV cameras, but at the same time, I also didn't want to give up hope and started knocking. There you go. Thank you. Oh my gosh. I thought I was gonna I thought I was gonna live there.
Imagine that.
Left you behind.
I know. I thought I was gonna live here. Okay, so we're in an area of Tempelhof that hasn't been refurbished or fixed. So one thing about this airport actually is that because of the war, it was never completed. So when the Knights Templars owned this, what was this before? Just farmland?
Yes, mainly, yeah. Right, yeah, we have to continue this way. We have to turn to the right, get to the orange counters. And this is also another.
Now we get to a darker side of the history of this airport. As necessitated by the war, air raid shelters were installed on the lower floors. Now these were far from being hardened bunkers though, as the ceilings and walls were not reinforced. What's worth noting though are the art on the walls, which were taken from children's tales or books to help cheer up the place for those sheltering in. We're finally in the space outside the airport where you have this huge hangar and where planes taxi. Further away are the runways, which have been converted into a public space called Tempelhof Field where people gather for outdoor activities. I've had my eye on this plane ever since I found out about Tempelhof Airport. It's so fulfilling to finally get these shots. Our last stop is this hangar. It's huge, but actually is now small for today's standards. Those cantilever beams above are architectural marvels and have actually won awards when they were completed. And once again, I wanted to have a shot of an empty hangar, so I waited for everyone to leave so that I could get it. And there you go. Take the shot. And then rush and catch up with the group. Thankfully, I didn't get locked in again. Now, I really find brutalist architecture so fascinating, so I had to take these fine art shots. Right, and that is it for this incredible tour. I'll take one more shot of the front of the airport. And done. And that is it for my point of view and walkabout video inside the Flughafen Tempelhof. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. I absolutely enjoyed the mix of history and architecture, and I surely put the Nikon Z30 to the test because of the varied shooting and lighting conditions, especially because I was shooting handheld. So I'm excited to make the review. If I have already, the link is somewhere here. And if you want to see the rest of my work, the rest of the photos from inside the airport, check out my Instagram somewhere here. All right, cheers guys, and I'll see you in the next video.